Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing
Basketball. Here's our hosts, Steve Collins. And Bill Flitter.
All right, welcome. Coaching Youth Hoops. I've never clapped in the 190 plus episodes, Coach. There you go.
195 episodes. Coming up on our 200th episode, Coach. That's absolutely
That's
amazing.
because of you, because I was doing it once
Because I pushed
week.
you a little bit.
You go, let's do it more than once. Let's do it more than, oh no, let's not. Anyway.
Coaches needed us. You know, the people we're making a positive impact with, Coach.
1 million, yes. Yes. No, it's great.
On our way to get to 1 million.
We all have 24 hours in a day. Just remember, So.
Well, if it wouldn't take us 3 hours to record 4 podcasts, then
I know.
Maybe that would be a little
I know we've been talking for like 40 minutes and then we jump on and we'll finally do it. So that's true. I don't think, recently we have not been good about that. All right. What's today's topic, Coach? Before we do that, though, what's coming up soon? Black Friday's coming up.
And
we have a little special, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We'll tease this special. Hold on. Let's talk about the topic first.
Okay. Well, they already know the topic. They already know the topic.
Because they already know, but this is, something that has come up with coaches, and we'll come back to the Black Friday. So hang on. This is the first time you're listening to the podcast talking about Black Friday special. So we're going to talk about running plays versus running an offense. This has come up quite a bit with coaches looking for plays. And I don't know. I think what I always try to advise them is run an offense. Don't focus just on plays. But we're going to come back to that topic. And before we do, coaches, go check out our Black Friday special. It's a whopper. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com/Black-Friday. It's basically everything you need for your season. One kit, all downloadable videos, instructions, drills, practice plans. Just print and go, show up to practice. We've basically leveraging Steve's 100 years of coaching
it feels like it some days. I know.
We learn from our mistakes. We're giving you the shortcut for an amazing season. Again, coachingyouthhoops.com/Black-Friday. Check it out.
What's the difference between dash and the other thing above dash? Which one's dash?
The shorter one.
The shorter one's dash. What's the other one? Above
or is it hash and dash? It's a hash and a dash.
Know. It's up by 0, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, right next to 0. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just helping people out there. I can never remember. Okay. All right. So we're talking plays versus offense.
Yeah. Plays versus an offense. Should and at what age do you introduce plays what age should you really focus on an offense? Uh, should you do plays? I mean, there's lots of stuff to unpack here. So, uh, first off, I think it's basically what you're trying to do is put the little ball in the big hoop and be a lot more efficient doing so. What's the
Right.
quickest way to do that? Right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do. Doesn't matter what level you're at, little ball, big hoop. Okay. So do you run plays or do you focus on an offense? I always say start with the fundamentals because it doesn't matter if you have a plays or an offense, nothing is going to work if you don't have the basic fundamentals. Shouldn't be running plays at, kindergarten through second grade because one, they're not going to remember them
Right.
unless there's some skilled, crazy outliers. Okay. So running plays or creating an offense. If you have the fundamentals down, what are the fundamentals? Dribbling, passing, I would even maybe including screening in there. All the basic things you need to run a play or run an offense, right? Next thing I would think about, I mean, we all have plays, right? We have our inbound play, our sideline play. Those are some basic plays. I think what coaches are after in this struggle, though, was figuring out offensive plays to get to score.
Yeah, I there's a couple things. First of all, I agree with when you should start it, probably late elementary. They're a little bit like peanut butter and jelly. Like I think they go
Okay.
well together. I do believe you need an offense and a base offense, which teaches specific skills. But then I think I always think of plays as like you're scaffolding, you're teaching something to a specific kid, or you're trying to isolate a specific player. So maybe I have my best player and I want to just clear out a side. That's a good time to have a player. Maybe I want to set a ball screen or something like that, or I want to get the ball into the post. So I find plays and it's hard sometimes because you don't want things to overlap, but you want to get something specific out of a play. Like what is it that you want to get out of it? And then you shouldn't have more plays that do that. So I think that's a mistake that it's kind of like the bright light kind of thing. They see it and they turn to it. Oh, that will score. We'll score off that. You keep adding, and that's the road you don't want to go down. You want to go down the road of thinking about what you want from the play, why are you running the play, and what is the play doing? And then no other plays or no other part of your offense is going to get that thing happening, whatever it is. I don't depends on your team. But I think you need some definitely because there's times in a game or times out of a timeout or something like that you need to be able to call something. But it can be, I mean, some of mine are real basic, like just clear out a side for people and let them create kind of things. It doesn't have to be super complicated. I think sometimes people get too complicated and that's you stumble on that because then you kind of fail, I think.
Yeah, no, I definitely would agree with that. And, I really don't start introducing plays until seventh or eighth grade. And the plays are all off of our core offense. We, of course, run the blitz, so it's all based off of that. What I teach, though, which is slightly different, it's slightly different, it is different, are reads. So in our offense, what are you seeing happening? How is the defense countering things? And then what's the read you can do off of that? And I think that then by teaching that fundamental, the players on the court can adjust quickly. And again, of course, that takes practice to see and repeating that action, but I find that works better.
Right.
We'll run a zone play specific, right? If we're not scoring or if we're, uh, we have a couple, but not a lot. We just basically focus on the blitz and reads and a lot of fundamentals. A lot.
Yeah.
The one compliment I always get from the refs at our game and other coaches is, guys, you guys are always fundamentally strong. Because I know my job as a grade school, or I should say a youth coach right below high school, is to get them ready to hand off to Steve and to know some basics, right? Know what a screen is, right? Know how
Right.
to dribble, know how to pass, know what to look for, know how to make some basic reads, right? Depending on because they're going to learn an entirely new offense with you, right, at the high school level, as an example. So
No, I like that. I like that. And again, I think it's really I mean, there are fourth grade teams that are playing like seventh grade teams, and there are seventh grade teams that
true.
are playing like fourth grade teams.
That's right.
Because I've
Yeah.
seen them. It's like I think it's a really individualistic thing. But I think you again, you want to simplify. You want to simplify. You want to simplify.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter
Whatever
what
you do.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever you
Exactly.
do, and you shouldn't have set. You're not calling out a different play every time on the court. That's definitely should not be happening at any level.
Definitely
Yeah,
not
that's
at any
you.
level. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if there was a general rule, though, would you say no plays and just focus on offense at the youth level,
I mean, if I
or
had to pick
or
one,
minimal
I
plays?
would
Like,
go offense over plays if I had to pick one of the two.
okay, yeah,
I would definitely not because you won't have enough. There aren't enough plays. First of all, they're not going to remember them, and there aren't enough variations that you're going to be able to attack everything that you see. But
yeah,
if you're teaching them how to play, I think it's a better thing. And I think that's where the offense and having something you can rely on, something you can lean on when things don't go, like a good
good.
nap when things aren't going well. A good nap just is a good thing to lean on. You know,
Well,
you
I
can
was
go,
just thinking about it as you were talking too. Another thing that came to mind is going back to the how to play versus play idea that we've talked about on the podcast before. Uh, I was thinking that, we hit zones and we hit lots of different zones, and we're seeing more zone. And I don't have enough practice time to practice against all the different zones. So, we have the again, going back to the blitz that takes care of a lot of the problems, doesn't take care of every problem, but there are some more aggressive zones, some more other pack in the middle. Um, but we teach, well, how do you beat a zone, which we're going to talk about in an upcoming episode in more detail. But if I can focus on teaching the fundamentals of how to beat a zone, then, right, I don't have to worry
right.
about plays.
Yeah.
And it seems to work for what we
Yeah,
what I
teach them
do.
to play the game. That's the takeaway.
Hmm.
Teach them to play. And you don't want to be robotic and plays, but there is a spot. I don't think there's you should just eliminate them, but I don't think that should be your entire offense is 3 or 4 plays or 5 or 6 plays or 10 or 12 plays. I think that's a lot to expect from any level.
Well, and the other thing I was thinking about this as I was writing the information for this is, what Alex is doing at transforming basketball. I think he goes to an extreme that we shouldn't even teach an offense. I think that's too far. And again, we had him on the podcast before, and he's doing amazing work. In my opinion, I think that's too far. I think there needs to be some structure, and then out of that structure, then you can come up with creating those reads and teaching
Right.
the fundamentals, and then they can work out of that. But I think with basketball, it's I have to know what you're doing on the other side, and it's got to be some predictable things. So you're staying out of my way if I have the ball,
Right.
right? And you should be doing something within the offense to occupy your defender and keep them, right? So not teaching you those concepts in a kind of more of a structured offense. And as you know, Steve, you've been coaching a long time. In practice, you have the best freaking offense, right?
Always
Your
looks good.
offense is
Yeah.
it's amazing, right?
Yep.
And then
Then you go
boom,
play, then you go play your first game and you go, oh, we're horrible. Yes, I know.
horrible. Yeah.
That's usually the
So
way it works. All right.
yeah.
Anything else, Coach? Give them the Black Friday URL again.
Yeah, coaches, go to coachingyouthhoops.com/black dash Friday. We got one more shout out as well. Please support our sponsor, Game Changer. They're bringing helping bring this content to you at no cost. Go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops. And if you haven't tried out their new feature of annotation on your game footage that you can then share it's amazing. And at a, you know, it's free for coaches. You will save a ton of time and build better practices and better players by using that. Again, that's at gc.com/coaching youth hoops.
All right, go over and check it out. Till next week, Coach.
Next week.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
If your brain is at full capacity with to-dos, birthdays, and dinner plans, meet Skylight Calendar. It syncs your entire family's schedule onto a sleek digital display, so you focus on important things like where you left your coffee. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to skylightcal.com/talk. Go to skylightcal.com/talk for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That's skylightcal.com/talk.